Thank you so much for attending my presentation on why Enamorus is VGC's second-rate Pokemon. We have two forms to look at today, Enamorus Incarnate and Enamorus Therian. Let's start with the former. Enamorus Incarnate's design is pretty simple, being a very powerful, fast, mixed attacker that leans towards the special side. It hits really hard and it outruns a bunch of threats. Its offensive stats are legitimately amazing and allow it to hit really hard when it wants to. Its defensive numbers do leave much to be desired, but to be fair, that's not what it's supposed to do. There are plenty of offensive demons that don't take many hits, that's okay. Its ability is also fairly strong. Contrary reverses all stat changes that affect Enamorus, which completely turns the tables on the normally frustrating Intimidate. Plus, moves that drop your attacking stats like Superpower now increase them. It's not easy to use Contrary in this way, but it gets real use. Enamorus Therian's design is similar, but has some key stat changes. In particular, this thing is slow. 46 speed isn't as low as it gets, but underspeeds Iron Hands, the Ursalunas, and Calyrex Ice. While this might seem bad for it, this gives Enamorus Therian a place on Trick Room teams as a fairy-type attacker. Its slow speed is also helpful in that it frees up its other stats to be used on defense. In contrast with the Incarnate form's 70 defense and 80 special defense, Therian gets up to 110 defense and 100 special defense. That's a big difference and allows it to take on some massive attacks. Its ability also helps it play on Trick Room teams. Overcoat lets it ignore all powder moves, including both Spore and Rage Powder. Those are two of Amoongus's best moves, which normally make it great against Trick Room. However, Enamorus doesn't care about its disruption in the slightest. Unfortunately, while these two forms look great, they're both heavily outclassed by other Pokemon and thus see almost no play. Enamorus Incarnate's competition is Fluttermane, arguably the best Pokemon in Gen 9. It's had top-tier usage since introduction, being a fairy type that matches Enamorus's power while completely eclipsing its speed. To be blunt, there isn't a good reason to use Enamorus when you could just run Fluttermane. It's better on offense, it's better as a supportive Pokemon, and while it's physically frailer, its increased special bulk and ghost typing arguably make it better on defense. Enamorus Therian, on the other hand, is beaten out by Hatterene. Hat is a psychic fairy type that, on hard Trick Room teams, is almost always better. Psychic is significantly stronger than flying on slow teams as they pair well with Indeedee female psychic terrain ability, buffing their stab moves to monster levels. Hatterene Expanding Force is just so monstrous and is stronger than anything that Enamorus Therian can offer. Sure, Hatterene does miss out on Moonblast, but the slightly increased power isn't worth it. But wait, you might be asking, what about Enamorus's good matchup into Amoongus? That matters, right? Well, it turns out that Hatterene beats the Mushroom even worse. Not only does it have Magic Bounce, which reflects Spore, but it's also naturally slower. And you know what's better than ignoring Amoongus? Killing it on the spot with a super effective Psychic-type attack. While there are more use cases for Enamorus Therian compared to Incarnate, it's still not worth it over another fairy type. They're both the second best. So have these two had any results? Well, there have been a few notable placements. Enamorus Incarnate is a little weird. It only has one entry on its Limitless page, being, surprisingly, on a hard Trick Room team, specifically Alex Soto's 9th place at the Barcelona Special event in 2023. I thought this was weird and clicked on the team so I could take a look at how it was ran. Pixie Plate for increased fairy-type damage, Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast, Earth Power for coverage, the Overcoat ability. Oh. Enamorus Incarnate doesn't get Overcoat. My guess is that this is a mistake on the team sheet and it's instead a result for Enamorus Therian. This would make a lot more sense as it doesn't really work on Trick Room, it's too fast. Unfortunately for the Incarnate form, that means it has no real placements in Scarlet and Violet. Fortunately for the Therian form, that means that this is its best placement in all of Gen 9. Otherwise, it's had a few other decent performances at tournaments, but never getting back to top cut. However, Alejandro Terrazas' 84th at 2025 NAIC marks, to my knowledge, the only time when an Enamorus form outplaced its fairy-type counterpart, with Hatterene's usage slowing down in Regulation I. With terrain being more popular and dragon types getting more usage with the bikes, it makes sense why you'd want a stronger fairy instead of Hatterene. However, throughout the course of Scarlet and Violet, neither Incarnate nor Therian has made a large mark. Fun to use? Sure, but in terms of results, it's been rough. In conclusion, Enamorus has been playing second fiddle for its entire VGC career. Whether it's Fluttermane or Hatterene, there's almost always a better option you could run, which is unfortunate. I hope that more fairy types become viable in the future because right now they feel very over-centralized around the top threats. Thank you so much for watching.